Hi, I'm Simon Trinder. Welcome to The Actorvist. I've been an actor for 20 years and I don't have all the answers by any means. I just enjoy asking the questions. So these are thoughts about the job, on the job, so to speak. Hiya, Happy New Year everybody. Welcome to 2020. This is the first Activist video of the year. Which is quite exciting for me. I'm looking forward to all the things we're going to discuss this year. It's going to be quite a quick one. I'm just about to do a matinee performance and I've been pondering something that I think is really important as we move into a new season, into a new year, fresh page so to speak. I'm hoping that nobody comes into the dressing room while I'm mid-flow because that's going to screw me right up, but never mind. How much power do we have as actors? So we can think of this in all sorts of different ways, but if you're anything like me, you will have had times where you feel extremely insecure and probably quite anxious, which is sort of the buzzword at the moment, isn't it? And for very good reason. Actors, I think particularly, have a great deal of anxiety about what they're doing, where they're going, and it's often supported nicely by parents, friends and family who are saying, you know, what are you doing now? And is it worth sticking with? And, you know, he did that thing a few years ago, it was brilliant, but not much has happened, has it? And all this kind of stuff. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. I would even say that those people who are busiest as actors can feel this as well, which is quite an odd thing. And I've spoken about that before in another video called The Slog. But this thing about control over our careers is terrifying because once you've left drama school or if you've just trained as an actor on the job, you soon discover that you're often at the mercy of a great deal of other people. You often find that the opportunities they can be few and far between. Sometimes there can be too many and you have to choose, which is obviously quite a nice champagne problem. But it always feels like there is a degree of powerlessness, shall we say, on your part. Now, I believe that we're thinking about this the wrong way. I've been thinking about this in a slightly different way for quite a long time, and I would call it the power of no. See what I've done there? There's a book that's quite similar. The power of no. There is an extraordinary amount of power for the actor when you really think about it. What do I mean? Okay, well, when you learn to say no, you gain a whole lot of freedom back, okay? When you learn to say no, you gain a whole lot of freedom. Let me give you some examples. And by the way, some of you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, I don't have that many job offers, so I can't say no to things. And even if I did get a job offer, I have to take it because I have to be seen to be working. I get all of that, but just listen for a few more moments. When we say no to certain things, we are inherently and logically saying yes to others. So, let me give you some examples. Let's talk about those actors who aren't working. There's a great many of us like that. The actors who aren't working may feel like they have absolutely no chance to say no to anything. I would say that's false. What happens if you said no to the lie-in on a Saturday morning till 10 a.m? By saying no to the lie-in, you could say yes to setting your alarm for 8 o'clock, jumping up, doing an hour of emails, CVs and show reels that you're sending off to agents and casting directors and monitoring and maintaining those relationships. You could then do half an hour sight reading out loud. Now, I didn't say this was easy, but it's pretty straightforward and simple. What if you said no to the workshop on Shakespeare that's happening next Saturday afternoon and said yes to the screen acting workshop that's happening next door because that's the way that you would love your career to go? What if you said no to sticking Netflix on at 6:30 at night for an hour and said yes to doing a 20-minute vocal warm-up because in 2 days' time you have an audition coming up and you want to be free vocally, more open and connected at gut level? You see, there's an awful lot of opportunity for us to say no to something and yes to something else. What if you get the odd audition every 5 months and you feel like you've no chance of saying no to anything that comes your way? Well, let's say that you get a lot of commercial auditions, which is quite a reality. And let's say that the last few commercial auditions that you've done have left you feeling pretty rejected, pretty stressed, pretty much like just another number, and you feel pretty low on confidence when you walk out of the room. Well, what happens next time the commercial audition comes in and you say no to that, even if it's the first opportunity in 5 months to get some work? By saying no to that audition, you're building a pillar of strength inside yourself. You're thickening your skin, so to speak, and you're creating a little sense of power. In a way, you're collecting power every time you say no. Now, you might not get another audition opportunity for another 5 months, but what you have done is become somebody who doesn't have to take everything that comes their way. And that sense of confidence, that sense of power begins to grow every time you do such a thing, whether it's on a daily basis, ignoring habits to do some work on your voice, or whether it's saying no to auditions that aren't taking you in the direction you want to go. What happens with all of this is that you become more controlled, more powerful, more confident, which is a huge thing, and you take that into your next meetings and auditions. A really good mate of mine, Joe Milson, says there is no deodorant for desperation. Of course, he's talking about auditions where you're so desperate for the job they can smell it and it's unattractive. Well, even if you've not had an audition in a year, if you said no to a series of things that could take you off course and said yes to the things that keep you on course, you become a powerful, controlled, and determined actor, and that's very attractive in the best ways. So, by saying no, you get an awful lot of power in response, and off you go.